Good morning. Today we are continuing working with those fractions with PO18. I can multiply fractions by whole numbers. So our last objective, we multiplied fraction by fraction. Today we're doing a fraction by a whole number. So when multiplying fractions by the whole number, it's helpful to think in terms of groups. So if we have 1/3 times 12, it's the same as saying 1/3 of 12. So think put 12 into 3 groups. So I want one of the groups. So if we have 1/7 times 35, it's 1/7 of 35. So think put 35 into 7 groups. I want one of the groups. So when we're breaking it up this way, you can actually think of doing it in several ways. So let's finish this up. 2/5 times 30 is saying 2/5 of 30. So you're taking 30, putting it into 5 groups, and then saying I want 2 of those groups. 5/6 times 12 is 5/6 of 12. So you want 12 broken into 6 groups, and I want 5 of those groups. So our shortcut that we can do, we have our numerator and our denominator of your whole number. So you can rearrange that to be the whole number over the denominator times that numerator. So what that would look like if we look back up at these examples, put 12 into 3 groups, and you want one of them, so times 1. So 12/3, remember that fraction bar means divide. 12 divided by 3 is 4, times 1 equals 4. Then we have 35 into 7 groups, so that's 35 divided by 7 times 1. So 35 divided by 7 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Now we have 30 into 5 groups. So 30 divided by 5 times, this time we're timesing it by 2 because we want 2 of those groups. So 30 divided by 5 is 6. 6 times 2 gives me that 12. So 30 divided by 5 is 6, times 2 gives me 12. So let's look at the last one. Put 12 into 6 groups, and you want 5 of them. So 12 divided by 6 is 2 times 5, and we get 10. So let's see how this works for our work that we have to do for today. So I'm going to erase this to scroll up. But I want you to think about, this is how we would have done it yesterday. So 1/3 times 12, that 12 is really 12 over 1. So we multiply going across, we have 1 times 2 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3, 12 over 3 is 4. We get the same answer. It's just less writing that we have to do when we do that shortcut. So 1/7 times 35 over 1 gives me 35/7. 35 divided by 7 gives me that 5. 2/5 times 30 over 1 equals 60 over 5. 60 divided by 5 gives me 12. And then here we had 5/6 times 12 over 1 is 60 over 6. 60 divided by 6 is 10. So we get the same answer either way. So if you learned how to do it, putting that whole number over 1, and that's what works for you, do that. You're going to get the same answer as you would if you did the shortcut of putting that whole number over the denominator and then timesing it by the numerator. So either way, we're going to get the same answer. Some of us will look at it and say, I know how to do it, putting the whole number into a fraction over 1. Some of us will say, ooh, I like the shortcut way because it's less steps that I have to do. So let's see how that works when we put it into our work. So multiply, show your work, do not just give me an answer. So if we're going to do it the long way, that would be 1/2 times 20 over 1 would equal 1 times 20 is 20, 2 times 1 is 2, 20 divided by 2 is 10. So if we're going to do it the shortcut way, we would put that whole number as our numerator over the denominator times the old numerator. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 times 1 equals 10. So we know 20 divided by 2 is that 10 times 1 equals 10. So you can do it either way. Make sure you show your work. Either way will get you the same answer. If we have 7/8 times 32 over 1, we could cross simplify and say, oh, I can divide an 8 out of both of those. So I can rewrite it. I can't cross simplify my 7 and my 1. So that 7 and 1 will stay the same. But 8 divided by 8 is 1. 32 divided by 8 is 4. So 7 over 1 times 4 over 1 gives me 28. Now I can do it our shortcut way, and we can say, okay, my whole number, I'm going to put over my denominator times the numerator. So 32 divided by 8 gave me that 4. 4 times 7 gives me 28. So we get the exact same answer, just less steps to get there. So you can do it by putting the whole number over 1 and doing the long way, or you can put the whole number as the numerator over the same denominator, then multiply it by the original numerator. So let me show you that, oops, a little bit clearer. So that would have been our whole number over our denominator times the numerator. So 32 divided by 8 is 4 times 7, and that's how I get my 28. Then we have some word problems. So you're going to do the rest of these problems, and then let's look at our word problems. So your basketball team scores a total of 45 points, and you calculate that you scored 2/9 of them. How many points did you score? So that would be 2/9 times 45. So if we're going to do it the long way, it would be 2/9 times 45 over 1. So 2 times 45 is 90. 9 times 1 is 9. I have to simplify. 90 divided by 9 gives me 10. I scored 10 points. Let's do it our other way. I'm going to put my whole number of 45 over the denominator of 9, times it by the numerator. 45 divided by 9 is 5, times that numeral of 2 is 10. So either way, I know that I scored 10 points. Always circle the answer when you're doing all of these steps so we know what your final answer is. Do the next one on your own. Figure out how many points did the team score. So if you look at it, the next night you score 8 points, which is 2/5 of the team's total. How many points did the team score overall? So figure out. I'm going to have you do your own work, seeing if you can figure out how to work that word problem to figure out how many points the whole team scored. Keeping in mind, you scored 8 points. That's only 2/5 of the total score. So your total team score is going to be a number bigger than 8, because your 8 points is only 2/5 of the team's total. There's the other 3/5. So it's going to be a bigger number. And then we have our review questions. So we always look back, do I remember previous objectives? Because we're coming near the end of our unit. Next week we will be testing. So you need to know how to work with these fractions. So I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.